We also want to tell our Talmidim what we're here to accomplish and what we want them to do with it. You will learn, by the way, much, much better if you know what you're here to accomplish than if I just give you information and then ask you at the end to figure it out. Which is why I started with those slides before. That this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. I didn't tell you everything, but I told you quite a bit so far already. And this way, as you are taking in information, your brain has a place to put it. And you start to organize it in a way. It helps you be masader your thought processes. Okay? You want to engage them. Of course, you want to teach them. You want to check for understanding. You want to make sure that they're understanding it as you go. You give them opportunity for practice. All of these are really critical. But the one thing we often forget is building in strategies for retention. How do I teach it in a way that they will hold on to it for a longer period of time? How do we create, like we said, stickiness in our lessons? How do we make sure that the Talmidim won't forget it in a week or two because of information override? New information comes in, so the old information just gets overwritten, so to speak. That's why we typically don't remember every time we go to davening, for example. Right? Today's tefillah overrides yesterday's, which overrides the days before, because our brain's not going to hold on to all of it, otherwise it'll be too much. So it selectively forgets a lot of things, and our Talmidim will do the same unless we help them hold on to identify the most important things, and help them to hold on to it in the very best way possible. Okay, so that's really, I think, a conversation we want to be thinking about, and this really speaks to the other point. Do we have expectations? Right? Do we have expectation? I don't know, for example, if your expectations that your Talmidim will remember information till the next test. Or if you expect them to remember it a month from now, or 3 months from now, or 6 months from now. I don't know if you really think about it in that way. I don't know if I thought about it that way when I was teaching on a regular basis. But I think we should. I think we should be asking ourselves all the time, how can we make sure that what we're teaching today is held onto for as long as possible and as clearly as possible? Those are both important pieces. And by the way, the better you remember, the more clearly you remember, the longer you'll hold on to it and with greater accuracy. So retention actually matters a lot. And we don't think about it when we're teaching because we're focused on so many other things. But this, I think, will help tremendously. And if we give our Talmidim these skills, they will use it in your class. And even if the next year's Rebbe doesn't focus on it as much, I don't know who's here from which yeshiva and whatnot, but your impact will be significant because you're giving them tools for life. And if you tell them what you're doing, if you demystify, right? We oftentimes hold all the cards, and we do all the preparation. We don't necessarily tell our Talmidim how we got to where we are. How do we get clarity in this sugya? How do we understand Rashi's question? How do we understand all these various things? Sometimes we need to sort of take them behind the scenes and let them know our hachana, how we prepare for things, etc. Another thing we want to tell them is just good learning practices and good retention practices. So if they remember that, it'll help them all throughout their lives. Because they'll have strategies that will help them. They won't just be good at remembering because they have a gift. They're good at remembering typically because they have a strategy. And we want to help them with those strategies.